মন্ত্রা গুরু আর যত শিক্ষক গুরুগণ তার চরণে আগে গড়িয়ে বন্দন। মম জ্ঞানতিমনন্যস্য জ্ঞানঞ্জনশলাকায় চক্ষুষোন্মিলিतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने नमः। नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवाणी प्रस्तुतदेशतरिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Nandana Jai Shachi Shuto Hoilo Shai Shachi Shuto Hoilo Shai Balarama Hoilo
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. off. Turn the light off, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, turn it off. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna
Hare Hadaya Namah Krishna Yadhavaya Namaha Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Hadaya Namah Krishna Yadhavaya Namaha Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Hare Hadaya Namah Krishna Yadhavaya Namaha Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Oh Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Nitai Gauri Bo Hori Bo Hori Bo Gaur Hori Bo Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Shishinitai Gauri Shiranata Vimanande Hari Hari Bo Iskcon Juhu Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Mukam Karadi Vachalam Pangam Langade Girim Jakrapatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Nimatarinam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shahurilo Gaurudaye Pushpavanto Chitro Shando Tamundo Hare Krishna. This evening, I'm going to share with you something very interesting. Very interesting. There's a book Srila Prabhupada wrote. A book, many books. This book called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Prabhupada wrote Teachings of Lord. Who's seen that? Srila Prabhupada, he had translated first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Tika. He translated first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in Vrindavan, first canto. And that was Prabhupada, he brought with him. That was a very historical event. First time that Srimad Bhagavatam had been exported from India. In the West, no one even knew about Srimad Bhagavatam. Probably in India also, people don't know about Srimad Bhagavatam, but now we are. Juhu, you did very good in the Sankirtan this year, yeah? First, second?
Out of the
Huh? No? Okay, we'll move on. So anyway, Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, even Bhagavad Gita. You know, Prabhupada, there was a manuscript of Bhagavad Gita that was stolen. Huh? Imagine that. Maybe it's going to appear someday. The Prabhupada's lost manuscript of Bhagavad Gita, and then we'll have to authenticate it. Is it really genuine? And then there'll be so many things, so many mysteries explained. Anyway, so Prabhupada had written Bhagavad Gita, that was stolen, and then he again wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is when he was in America, Bhagavad Gita, and then he took it to Macmillan. That's a nice story. Brahmananda, that story, you know that story. So they were receiving the mail. In those days there were records. This is some Puranic history here. All the young devotees are saying, records? There was even before that, even after, there was cassettes. Is that what you know? What is cassette? And you had to, sometimes the cassette, what is that? The reel, it get tangled. You have to put your pen in there and. Remember those days? Winding up the cassette with your pen. This is all that, the tapes kind of like hanging out half a mile. So then came MP3, digital music and everything. But in the old days there was records. I grew up with records. My brother, he had bought he got a job. I was still at school. He bought a big home record player. And then whenever you had to tiptoe around the house. Because a record, record. In the West, people don't live in apartments. We live in houses. And underneath there's a ground. There's not another family. Something new to you, huh? Something you can't imagine. Underneath family, on top family, both sides families. Anyway, it is. But in the West, in Australia, only a big country, a lot of space. So people have homes, and then home is built on the earth, and then there's these pylons they dig and bang into the ground, and then the houses above. So the houses they move a little. It's also cold, so there's not marble. The floors are wood and carpet on the top. But when you walk around, it moves a little bit. So we weren't allowed to walk when the records were playing because it bumps, it jumps up and bumps. So devotees were selling records, and they got the message from Macmillan, second biggest compared to Penguin. Macmillan, okay, even books and book publishing nowadays, it's all changed. The world's changed so quickly. Macmillan, Penguin. So Macmillan, there was a letter from Macmillan that somebody wanted a record. So usually they would send that. They get the letter. The devotees in the magazines they would distribute, and in newspapers also they advertised the Hare Krishna record. People would write in. They would send it out in the mail, and then you would pay by bank draft or something. Some very complex, antiquated system compared to now on your phone. You can do everything just with your phone, buy tickets, everything. And so the devotees, Brahmananda, who was president, he told Prabhupada, he said, we've got a request from Macmillan Books about someone wanting the record. And then Brahmananda said, but it looks, it's just a clerk, or he didn't know that. But anyway, Prabhupada said, go personally, don't send it, go personally and deliver the record. And then Prabhupada said that when you get to deliver the record, you tell them that your guru from India has a manuscript of Bhagavad Gita that, for publishing. He said, you tell them that. And Brahmananda is thinking, what? Why, Prabhupada was like, he could already see the whole thing in his mind. He could see the whole thing in Brahmananda. So anyway, Brahmananda goes, he's in his suit, and he goes, and he finds the person. Actually, and then he found that the person was like a clerk in the mail room. It wasn't a particularly high-posted position in Macmillan Books, anyway, clerk. And he was thinking, oh, well. So anyway, so he goes there and he gives the record. And then at that very moment, while he was in the mail room with that person, that very moment, the chief executive of Macmillan Books came. Chief executive. Actually, his surname is the same as legal surname as my name, just out of coincidence. Yeah. I found that interesting. So the chief executive just walked in looking for his mail. Just walked in. And Ramananda's there, and the clerk said, oh, here's our chief executive, and introduced him. And then Brahmananda said, my guru from India has a manuscript of Bhagavad Gita that for publishing. And the chief executive said, ho. Just so happens we're doing a new spiritual series edition, and we've got this and this, and we need a Bhagavad Gita. We don't have one. Amazing. And then Brahmananda goes back, and they said, bring him. And then Brahmananda goes back, tells Prabhupada, and Prabhupada goes. Macmillan published Bhagavad Gita. Macmillan. You can still get the Macmillan Bhagavad Gitas. There was first a abridged edition, and then it was sold so quick because devotees were distributing. All finished. First edition finished. They printed again the unabridged edition. You can read in that. That was used by Prabhupada for 10 years, that Macmillan Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. So Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita in America. He also wrote, that time, 68, he wrote Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It's a summary of the Madhya Lila. Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila. Although Madhya Lila is only 6-year period of the life of Gaudhari. 24 years in Navadip, and then sannyas, and then 6 years traveling. He went Dokhin Bharat tour, he went Ramkeli, he went Vrindavan, he went Varanasi, Prayagraj, Kashi. He delivered Rup Sanatan, Prakasananda Saraswati, Savamur Bhattacharya, Ramananda Roy. This is Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So Prabhupada wrote that, and he began, you can hear Prabhupada lecturing on Chaitanya Charitamrita in 1966. 1966. And then again in 1968. So Prabhupada, he was, Bhagavad Gita was there and Bhagavatam was there, but he wanted the devotees to. So he wrote that book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Now what's interesting, what I find particularly fascinating, because I'm studying, I like to study the literatures of the Goswamis from a literary point of view. The different embellishments, how, just like for example, when I think we were discussing in Mayapur last time we were there on the bank of Maganga, when Shachi Dulal, he's performing such mischievous every day, 2-3 hours, and the Brahmins are there, they're trying to take bath, he's disturbing their japa, he's spitting water in their face, he's spoiling their offerings, he's disturbing the Kumaris. A little funny story that comes to mind, I love this one. Is this a gem, this one? So we were in Kolkata, Ratha Yatra, and His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he came. There's a big thing, Kolkata Ratha Yatra, the biggest Ratha Yatra in Iskcon. Second biggest Ratha Yatra in the world, only compared to Jagannath Puri. And so Bhakti Charu Maharaj is speaking every evening. So we have a bit of I'm fortunate that Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he likes me to introduce him in Bengali language. They get a kick out of that, and Bhakti Charu Maharaj is sitting there and he's listening, he's on telling different things, about his life. Only Otulani Babe Shri Prabhupada Kastake. Harinam, Brahmane Bangshangnash Dika page, and all the details, and then Bhakti Charu Maharaj is sitting listening. So I was introducing, in the previous act, the girls were dancing. Many young girls, all different girls. So I was preparing the opening line before, because this Master of Ceremonies Seva, it's a whole different skill set required. A whole difference. It's not just like public speaking. You've got to know what to say at the right time. Because one event just finishes, and it's like black stage, and then what? You can't just go and say, okay, so what's next? you have to know them. You have to know the mood. You know, you have to, like in cooking, you have to know how to spice, how to add what item will we serve next. It's a whole art form. So I said, they're all there, thousands of people. Bhakti Chumraj is already sitting there, and then I said, Amadir, Akishore, Amadir, Juboti der, Amadir Juboti der, Nach, Dekte Kamon Lageche. Our teenage girls dance to see that. How did you like it? They were like, oh, so nice, so nice. You know. I saw teenage girls and younger girls. But then Bhakti Churaswami, he called them the younger girls, and they all came. And then Bhakti Churaswami, he's calling from he's sitting and he's saying, Kishori, Kishori there. I said, Juboti. You know, Juboti? Is in Hindi it's the same?
Yes.
Juboti? Okay, Juboti is youth, and Kishori is young girl. So they were young girls. So Bhakti Churaswami, he calls to me, he says, oh, Kishori, Kishori. And I Kishori. So then I considered myself very fortunate. See? Very fortunate. Because if one is the recipient of correction from a senior, this is a sign of affection. If one is corrected, so I said, you corrected. I said, you've accepted me as your disciple. You're correcting me. And Maharaj is just smiling. And then I said, now whenever I think of Juboti and Kishori, I will remember Bhakti Churaswami Maharaj. Whenever I think of Kishori and Juboti, I said, whenever I'm considering Juboti and Kishori, we were discussing Bangla, such a bhasha, different name for different age, and it reflects the mood. The Kishori, young girl, innocent, and Juboti. So I said, whenever in the future I'm considering Juboti and Kishori, I will think of Bhakti Churaswami Maharaj. I'll think of Bhakti Churaswami Maharaj. And Bhakti Churaswami Maharaj, he very quickly said, yes, but don't think too much of Juboti and Kishori. Good, huh? Yeah, the moments of reciprocation. We have to learn how to interact. Learn how to interact. So we can like milking. You have to learn how to have affection with the cow to get the milk. Yeah. So how do we get onto that? We were announcing Mahaprabhu. Oh yeah. Anyway, I forgot how we got on. Oh yeah, so the Kishoris, the Jubotis. Mahaprabhu also was Gaudhari. He would disturb the young girls when they were bathing, tell them he wanted to marry them, and so many things. So what's interesting is that Vrindavana's Thakur, he doesn't just say all the things that Sachinandan is doing. He reveals that through the mouths of the Brahmins. And to describe, one Brahmin came and he's appealing to Jagannath Mishra, and then the ladies come. So it's like a drama. You can see it. This is the great Kabiraj Vaishnavas. They're actually Gaurange Gunete Jude, those who cry upon considering the qualities of Gaudhari, Nitta Lila Taresh Bude. They can see. But it's not like, it doesn't have to be like, this is the report, and then he was there at the Ganga from 2 o'clock to 4:30, and then this many people. It's not like that. It's the Pibata, it's the Sukhamukha Amrita Dravya Shamyuta, that through the lips of the Vaishnava, because he has a relationship, he's seeing, so he can describe. The Vaishnava can describe, and it's a literary thing. Kavi, it's a poet, and therefore these they're not just mundane writers. They write in such a way that helps us to taste the rush and to feel the emotions. So these things. So Prabhupada also. Now, this teachings of Lord Chaitanya, it is the summary study of the Madhya Lila. However, It doesn't begin in the first chapter of Madhya Lila. That's rather unconventional. Madhya Lila is the summary study, but it doesn't begin in the first chapter. Madhya Lila first chapter is Mahaprabhu going to Puri, and then Ramuna, and then even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya deliverance, that's chapter 6. It doesn't start there. It starts chapter 19 of Madhya Lila. Chapter 19. Why chapter 19? Right in the middle. Rupa Goswami, where it begins with Rupa Shikha. That's not the beginning of the Madhya Lila. So why Prabhupada started with the Rupa Shikha? Now, what's even more interesting, he doesn't even begin the teachings of Lord Chaitanya in the beginning of the chapter. It's not even the beginning of the chapter. It's a summary study of the Madhya Lila. He begins the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, not even the beginning of the chapter. He begins the book. It's not a random thing. It's not a haphazard thing. Oh, begin somewhere. Oh, let's open up. Okay, begin here. It's not random. It's with great discretion. Prabhupada begins the teachings of Lord Chaitanya at a climatic moment when Gaur Hari is approaching Bindu Madhav Mandir in Prayagraj. Bindu Madhav, Radha Krishna temple. In Prayagraj, yes, used to be a different name, now Prayagraj. He's approaching there, and he's followed by tens of thousands of people. And at that time, Rupa and his younger brother, Anupam, they arrived, and they see they're seeing him from a distance. And the description is there by Kaviraj Goswami. That's not the beginning of the chapter. That's not the beginning of the whole section. But Prabhupada selects that to begin his summary study. That's interesting. So would you like to hear a little of that description of Gaur Hari in Prayagraj as he's there? So we'll read a few verses because our Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's guru, Prabhupada writes in the end of the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Saraswati Thakur predicted that the foreign people would learn Bengali language to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. So at least today you can see one foreign person. Actually, it's not meant as a joke. This is Prabhu, Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. I'm saying that because if we give our life to fulfilling the words of the previous acharyas, you can get perfection. Prabhu chole achen bintu madhav darshane lokha lokha lok aishe Prabhu milane. Chole achen Bindu Madhav Darshane, he's going, Mahaprabhu, to see the deity of Bindu Madhav. Who's seen Bindu Madhav in Prayagraj? Who's seen Bindu Madhav? Yeah, some of us, yeah. It's not a very big temple, maybe only the size of this room, or even smaller. Bindu Madhav, you can stand at the back and very small temple. Radha Krishna. So Gaur Hari, he was going to take darshan. Darshane, Prabhu Milone. Lokha lokha, that's tens of thousands of people. Prabhupada translates, thousands of people were following him. Prabhu Milone. Keha Kande, Keha Hashe, Keho Nache Gai, Krishna Krishna Boli, Keho Garagari Jai. Garagari. Keho Kande, some are crying, the people. Kehu Hashe, some are laughing. Kehu Nache, some are dancing. Gai, some are singing. Loka, this is tens of thousands of people. Krishna Krishna Boli, Kehu. Gara Gari Jai. Gara Gari means rolling on the ground. Gara Gari Jai, rolling on the ground. As Gaur Hari is approaching Bindu Madhav, as he's in the kirtan. Can you see? Gara Gari, we don't do in Iskcon. Actually, I asked Janananda, he's minister of the Sankirtan, I said, can we do rolling on the ground? can we do? He said, I don't think. I said, you can do. I don't know. I mean, these days there's so many things I do. No one says anything about it, so could probably do it. Anyway, it's there. It's out. Gotta. Why rolling on the ground? It's not that now I'm in prema, look at me. No. Why rolling on the ground? To cover one's body with the dust, which has come from the feet of Vaishnavas. To cover one's body in the dust. Still in Mayapur, you see old ladies. They come because they know just see that there's so much sophistication and you lose everything. But it's simple. But they know, the dust of the feet of a Vaishnava can give me prema. And after the kirtan in temple in Mayapur, after you'll see ladies and they're rolling on the ground. Yes. Ganga Jamuna Prayag Noyala Dubai Te Prabhu Dubai Lo Krishna Preme Banaite. Now even though Prayagraj is confluence of Jamuna and Ganga, it never flooded. Narilo Dubaite. The water never inundated the city. But Prabhu Mahaprabhu, he flooded Dubai Lo Krishna Prema, a flood of Krishna Prema. Just imagine thousands and thousands of people doing Harinam, overwhelmed with love of Godhead. And Mahaprabhu is described, his kirtan. Prema beshe nache Prabhu Hari Doni Kori Udva Bahu Kori Bole Hari Hari. You like that? Prema beshe nache Prabhu Hari Doni Kori. Prema beshe. The Prema Avesh means they entered in. The overwhelmed with Premavesh, love of Godhead. That Premaveshe Pote, Hobi Ocheton, Maji, sometimes Prabhu will fall down on the path. In fact, in the description of the constable in Ram Kelly, he gave description, he said in every hour he falls down more than 100 times. Quick, someone engineering background can do the calculation. 100 times more than in 1 hour, in 1 minute. How many times? Almost 2. So every 2 minutes, like 3 times falling down. Every 2 minutes have gone, 3 times falling down. Boom. Love of God. That's Mahaprabhu's. Love of God every time. Prema Beshe. Nache, dancing. Prabhu was ordered by Ishwarapuri. Nache Gao Bhakta Shange. But here in his tours, Mahaprabhu not going with big entourage. And this tour, he's coming from Vrindavan. He'd been to Vrindavan, and he's coming back from Vrindavan. Rupa and Sanatan and Anupam, they met in Ram Kelly. Mahaprabhu said, "You go to Vrindavan." They were thinking that they would all go to Vrindavan and stay there. They were all thinking that Rupa, now we'll leave everything, and Sanatan Goswami in jail, his appearance day in a few days. In jail, you come quickly, you sent money. We're going to meet Gaudhani in Vrindavan, thinking we'll all stay there. Gaudhani only stayed 10 days in Vrindavan, and then came back, left. So as he was coming back, he was there in Prayagraj, and then Rupa Goswami came. Premabeshe, Nache, Mahaprabhu. Yes, so he's not with a big entourage. He's only Mahaprabhu. He's accompanied by 2 people. This Balabhadra Bhattacharya, and one other Krishna Das that they had joined sometime in Mathura Vrindavan. There's 3 people. But Mahaprabhu, there are no shortage of followers. They're immediately attracted. They're coming from all over to see him, to associate with him, to do kirtan. And what's Mahaprabhu? Premavesh and Nacha, he's dancing in complete love of God. Prabhu Hari Doni Kore, Hari Doni. Hari Doni. That's the sound. Hari Hari. In other words, he's calling out Hari Hari. Hari Hari. Hari Hari. Hari Doni. Kore. He's calling out Hari. Udva Bahu with his arms raised. And Kore Boli. Hari Hari. प्रभुर महिमा देखी लोग चमत्कार प्रयागे प्रभु लीला nari bani ba. Everyone was astonished to see the pastimes of Gaur Hari at Prayagraj. Prayage, at Prayag, Prabhu Lila, Nari Barni Ba. I cannot describe. No one can describe. But anyway, we're hearing nice description. Out of humility, he's saying he cannot describe. So at that time, Rupa and Anupam, younger brother, Rupa, Sanatan, Anupam, younger brother, they were there. And then they were seeing all this, they're seeing this. And then after that, Mahaprabhu, he went for lunch, Prashad, and Rupa and Anupam, they came. And they're falling down, paying obeisances, seeing Mahaprabhu. Shri Rupe, Dekhiya, Prabhu, Prashanna Holo Mon. Seeing Rupa Goswami, Prashanna Holo Mon. He became very pleased. Uto Rupa, I say, Balila Bachaninto, get up. And then Mahaprabhu, he began glorifying the Rupa. He began glorifying devotees. This is how Vaishnavas, how they behave. Vaishnav Brahman, they behave. They Katayantas Chamam Nityam. They discuss Shastra. So Rupa Goswami appears, he's paying obeisance, Mahaprabhu gets up, and then Mahaprabhu quotes from the Hari Bhakti Vilas. He quotes. Name Bhakta Chaturvedi Mad Bhakta Sapa Cha Priyaha Tasmai Dhyayam Tatograyam Sa Cha Puja Jatahi Aham. Name Bhakta Chaturvedi. Even if one has studied all of it, Chaturvedi, studied all. Name Bhakta. If he's not my devotee, Mad Bhakta Swapacha Priyaha. He's not as dear to me as my devotee who's born in the family of dog eaters. Swapacha is dog eater. So that, not that you remain dog eater, but born in the family of dog eaters. Swapacha. And that Mad Bhakta Swapacha Priyaha. The dog eater from the family of dog eaters who's become Vaishnava. He's more dear to Krishna than the Chaturvedi Brahman who's not a devotee. That's how powerful this is. We're studying in Nectar Devotion. We'll see that the purifying effects of Hari Bhakti. In the Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter text 2, Krishna, a Prabhupada quote, Krishna says that idam pavitram idam uttam. 9th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, text number 2, Rajavidya Rajagujam, Pavitram idam uttam. So in purporting that statement, Pavitram idam uttam, Prabhupada quotes from the Padma Purana about how all different stages of sin can be wiped away by Vishnu Bhakti. Aparabda palam papam ku utam bijam palam mukam kramanai vipraliyate Vishnu Bhakti radatmanam. Vishnu Bhakti, by Vishnu Bhakti you remove all the sins, even those which are lying in dormant state. Kutam bijam. Kutam means propensity for sin. Bijam means specific sinful desires, not yet, but the desire, kutam bijam, they're also removed. And also aparabda palam papam. Aparabda means karma not yet manifest, but you've done the sin, and yet the reaction not come. Like when when you're trying to print a document, and you press print, the icon print, nothing happens. So you press it again, print, nothing happens. Wait, and you press it again, print. Eventually your document comes, and then you turn the printer off, and then 2 weeks later, or even a month later, 2 months later, again connect printer. Time to print new document, you press print, and then 2 months, okay, that document again comes. Yes, it happens. So it's like that. The karma is there, recorded. And it's going to come. Turn on it's going to come, it's there. That's karma. That's karma. Sometimes long, sometimes over many lives. One life before, and people can't understand. It's all there on the software. So that's all removed, and that's called aparabdha karma. And then there's parabdha karma also. Parabdha karma means the body. That's also a result of sin. It's not so, we kind of think, wow. And wherever I go, people come and say, oh, what is your country? It's like special. Special. We think it's pretty special, our body. We think it's pretty special. We look in the mirror regularly, big mirrors. So you can see from top to toe. Actually, it's a result of sin. The body. We get it because of previous sins. That's why we get it. It's not a very good, it's incarceration. So this body also is sinful reaction. This body also is sinful reaction. Low birth. I mean, it's not a racist comment, but it's a fact that where you're born, it's a whole different ball game. It's a whole different, according to where you're born. You're born in Europe, North America, even South America to North America. What a difference! They build a big wall. Wants to build a big wall because it's not because they're less than we, and they want to come and get what we have. It's not fair. It's according to. This is not fair. I mean, sometimes I do the calculations. Australia. I'm born in Australia, big country, bigger than India, and the number of people is 2 crore. Right? In India, smaller country, and 1,200,000,000. 1,200,000,000. Australia, 20 million. That means for every one Australian, there's 600 Indian. So then it's kind of not fair that the facilities for 600 people, one person in Australia can enjoy, compared to the circumstances. It's not. This is result. Of course, a birth in India is special, even though there's so many 600 for everyone. It's still special. So the parabdha karma, the birth, the sins of birth are also purified. So therefore, the swapacha, the dog-eater, if he chants Hare Krishna, if he becomes Vaishnava, then that swapacha, sinful birth, purified. Mahaprabhu is saying this. So more dear to me than the Chaturvedi non-Vaishnava. Of course, this and then swapacha, another. Everything is there. The evidence of Shastra. We can't just talk. Oh, we're good. We're devotees. They're not good. You have to have the evidence. The Shastra is explaining. Mahaprabhu is speaking. And then another place it meant. We'll talk more as we come. Another verse. He says. Listen to this. A shlok pori. Mahaprabhu quoted the slok. A shlok pori. Duhare. Koilo Alingon. He embraced the two. Anupam and Rupa. He embraced them. Kripate Duhare Matai Darelo Charon. He put his, out of mercy, he placed his feet on their heads. I'll read that again. Ei shlok pori Duhare Koilo Alingon. Kripate Duhare Matai Dhorilo Charon. Mahaprabhu's 2 feet on your head. You like that? And at that time, Rupa Goswami, he spoke the famous verse at that time. He spoke famous verse. What's that? Anyone can? Namo Mahabharanaya Krishna Prem Pradayade. Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradush. He spoke that verse at that time. The Mahabharanaya, the greatly munificent. The Mahabharanaya. Varanaya in itself is very munificent. Mahabharanaya. The unlimitedly munificent incarnation, Krishna Prema Pradayate. How is that we hear giving away Krishna Prema? How I don't know giving away Krishna. It's in the Harinam. The Harinam is Krishna Prema Pradayate. It's giving freely. Harinam is given freely. You just we came from Rath Yatra and it's free. Anyone. There's no qualification to see Lord Jagannath. There's no qualification. You just have to be there. You get the mercy. You see Lord Jagannath on the rot. You don't take birth again. And what to speak of leading kirtan with 10,000 people? You've got to be intelligent and find those places in the universe where you should be at the appropriate time. Even this Kolkata Rath Yatra is special. Prabhupada personally began. He wanted it, and he's there. So he wants it. He ordered it that it become the biggest Rath Yatra. And that order yet not fulfilled. So he quoted that's Mahavadanaya, because anyone can hear. You see, there's no anyone wanders in. Only that they can get that blessing. That's no. He said, no more consideration. I'll just give it freely. That's what it means. It's all in the holy name. Is Krishna is Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Yatra Gayanti Madhbhakta Tatra Tishtami Narada. He's there in the sound, and the sound is freely distributed. Freely distributed. That's the whole essence of the Sankirtan movement. Otherwise, how is it possible that we foreigners can change? Because we're not qualified. We're not eligible to enter the temple. What hope is there? We can't even enter the temple in India, some temples. Even Rupa Goswami did not enter Jagannath Puri temple. Rupa and Haridas Thakur, they did not enter. So that this is how he's the Mahavadanaya. Because then on those ears, who the holy name falls, it will purify. Yatra Gayanti Madhbhakta Tatra Dishtami Narada. He's present there in the sound. The sound goes in your ears, and it purifies you, awakens you. As I've been saying hundreds of times over the last week, Apna de Nitya Shampurka Shri Krishna Shange Jagrita hoye jabe. Jagrita hoye jabe. It will awaken. And it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a real awakening. By the name, by the Harinam. That's what it's meant to do. That's what it's meant to do. It does it. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koraya Udoy. Shuddha Chitte, heart becomes pure, Koraya Udoy. And just like there's a rising, like the sun arises. So he's Mahavadanaya Avatar. He's giving that to anyone who chants. Anyone. No qualification. You can. Quoting that verse. So then, this great scholar named Balabhacharya, a great scholar. He actually, Prabhupada mentions Mumbai, Balabha Sampradaya, the Pushti Marg. Mumbai, Prabhupada mentions Mumbai, and Vrindavan, he says, they're very popular. So the Acharya, Balabha Acharya, and Prabhupada also mentions that the current Acharya, maybe he's not there now, Dikshit Maharaj, he said he's very favorable to our movement, but maybe that was 40 years ago, 50 years ago, Prabhupada was writing, 40 years ago. So maybe he's not there now. So this Vallabhacharya, he was living on the opposite side of Ganga, in a place called Adilo, and he came to associate with Mahaprabhu. At the time, Rupa and Anupam are there in the room, and Vallabhacharya, he comes at that time. Now, just remember that Mahaprabhu just put his feet, lotus feet on the Rupa and Anupam's head. On their heads. He just put his. So they're all very close. They're very close. They're very close together in a group. When Vallabhacharya he appeared, Rupa and Anupam, they immediately went to a distant place in the room. They went away, distant place, out of humility. Maybe I shared with you the story about Sanatana Goswami when he visited Puri in the summer season, and Mahaprabhu called him at the middle of the day, and he came on the beach, and his feet were blistered. You see, and Mahaprabhu said, "Why you didn't come by the road by the Jagannath Mandir?" He was staying in the Siddha Bakula, and he was coming to Gambhira, where Mahaprabhu was staying. Mahaprabhu said, "Why you didn't come on the road beside the Jagannath Mandir? It's cool, and there's shade." And Sanatana Goswami, in genuine humility, not like us, you know, we say, "Oh, Prabhu, I'm so fallen, but we don't really mean it. Not the most fallen, but anyway, Prabhu, I'm the most fallen. We don't really mean it. It's kind of like the language you learn in Iskcon, you know, Prabhu, I'm so fallen, We don't really mean it, but it's genuine. He said, but the Pupitra, Pujarida, these pure servants of Lord Jagannath, they use that road. If they touch me, they will become impure. It will be a great offense. He's genuinely thinking like that. So he comes on the path. There's genuine humility. Nidra hara vihara kaji vijito cha atyanta dino. Excessively humble. Excessively humble. Naturally. Humility is a quality of a Vaishnava. When I was discussing about the Keshav Kashmiri Digvijay, Mahaprabhu, he gave an analogy. He said that a tree laden with fruit bows down. A tree laden with fruit bows down and hangs low. So Mahaprabhu, he's taking advantage of this moment to establish an important principle. So Rupa and Anupam, immediately Ballabhacharya comes, Brahman, Vaishnava, you can imagine. So pure, so learned. And the Goswamis, Rupa and Anupam, immediately they go away. They don't want to contaminate. And Gaur Hari, he sees this. He says to Ballabhacharya, he says, don't touch them. They are low. They're low birth. And they're fallen. He says, they're low birth. That's what he said. Yeah, don't touch him. Mahaprabhu, he says to Ballabhacharya, don't touch him. He belongs to a very low caste. You are a follower of the Vedic principles. You are an experienced performer of many sacrifices. And you also belong to the aristocracy. Don't touch them. They're very low class. And in the corner, Anupam and Rupa Goswami is simply there chanting the holy name, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. But Ballabhacharya, he passed the test. He says, how it's possible they can be considered low caste. How can we possibly designate them low birth, low caste, if constantly from their lips can be heard the name of Hari? And then he quotes Shastra. This is how Vaishnavas interact. We discuss the Shastric evidence. He quotes from the Kapil Shikha in the 3rd canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. Devahuti, Rani Devahuti is glorifying Kapil Muni, her son, who's Bhagavan. And she quotes that she says that Aho Bhatta Swa Pacho Tau Gariyam Yajiva Grevadare Namatubhyam Te Pustapaste Juhu Shashnuaya Brahmanachu Namagrinati Yete. You'll find this verse quoted several places in Bhagavad Gita, first 6 chapters purports. Aho means whoa! Aho! To translate in common youth vernacular language, we could say awesome! Awesome! Aho! But Swapacho, again Swapacho. Togari, how glorious, Swapacho, the born in the family of Dogadis. Ballabhacharya is quoting. Togari, how glorious they are. Yajiva agre vachite nama tubhyam. Because nama tubhyam, your name, is appeared on their tongue. Jiva agre. And she particularly mentions that one not need specifically to be advanced in chanting. She says jiva agre. Jivagra means the tip of the tongue. Or in other words, a little bit of chanting. Or the beginning of chanting. Or just a touch of chanting. It's not even necessarily serious chanting. Jivagre, somehow they chant. The name touches the tongue. That's Swapacha. The name touches the tongue. Tepus tapas te juhu vushashnu arya. Brahmanu chunamigrinanti yete. Tepus tapas, they perform just by the name touching the tongue. They performed all the different austerities that are given in the Vedic literature. Juhu, Shashnu, they've gone to all of the tirthastans, they've taken the bath there. They've performed the Vedic, all of the Homa, Jagyas, all that. Brahmanachu, studied all the Vedas. All that can be achieved just by a little Jivagre Nama Tubhyam, just by a little chanting. Their name is appeared on their tongue. Brahmanacha, Nama Grinanti Yete, Nama Grinanti, those who accept the name. And he's quoting this. And Mahaprabhu also very pleased that Ballabhacharya is establishing, they're discussing and quoting. This is one essential principle of the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Essential principle that it is completely revolutionary approach compared to the strictures of Hindu caste society. We can say that casteism that permeated Hinduism, we could say that undermined the success of Sanatana Dharma in India. So many people left the path of Sanatana Dharma because of social injustice. Simply because unqualified people were claiming to be social elite and all of these things. So actually Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan movement it was very revolutionary. You can imagine, even now these things are what about 500 years ago? Just see Rupa and Sanatan, you can trace their lineage, Rupa and Sanatan. It's there in the Jiva Goswami writes in his Satsandabhas, the lineage. 5, 6, 7, 8 generations of Saraswat Brahmins from Karnataka. Extremely aristocratic experts in the Yajurveda Shastra. What a line of Brahmins. And he's considering himself to be not eligible to enter the Jagannath temple because he got employment from the Javan, Nawab. He took a job. He took a job. And therefore, of course, nowadays people, so many times, I remember one time I was there in Dhaka, I was sitting in a vehicle, we're going for a program, and one gentleman chatting with me through the window, and then he says, he shows, we are also Brahmin, we are also Brahmin. And it's like, if he hadn't, there's no way I would have recognized that if he hadn't have pulled the thread out. You want to see Brahmin, then open the fridge. That's where they're at. We want to do evaluation of consciousness is go and open the fridge. And then you'll see whether there's Brahman, what is the Brahminical standard. You see in the fridge all these things. This one. And you keep like crocodiles. They eat a little and then they stuff. And under the and then again next day eat a little one. Brahminical means offer bhoga to Sri Hari, distribute prasad. Take prasad, distribute prasad. That's Brahminical, distribute prasad. Not that we're keeping for next day, this day, that day. But then again, Prabhuji, no time. We have to go to work, we go to the hypermart once a week. Fill out and take the... So anyway, Prabhupada's saying, listen to this in the purport. The South India especially, he says, South India especially, the fastidious position, most prominent. Brahmins are generally puffed up with false prestige because they belong to the aristocracy and perform many sacrifices. In South India especially, this fastidious position is most prominent. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually started a revolution against this Brahminical system by inaugurating the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. By this chanting, one can be delivered regardless of caste, creed, color, or social position. This is essential, fundamental principle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. There's no discrimination. And similarly in our Iskcon, everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. That's an essential principle of our movement, that we welcome everybody, unless they're completely, we have to go and you have to take him out the back somewhere and hose them off before you. But even that person, okay, hose them off, then. But everyone, that's an essential principle. So, practically speaking, that I'm in that category, hose him off. You may not. You can ask some of the people who know me from Melbourne, the temple, when I joined there 30 years, you can ask them what I was like when I came. I was in that category, take him out of the back, hose him off. So this is essential principle. And this is very nicely explained here by Chaitanya in this Lila. And then, nice incident when they take Vallabhacharya, he took Mahaprabhu over to his home for prasad, lunch, all of them. So at that Triveni, then there is Jamuna, there is Ganga. And also you can see that there's Sangam. So when he crossed the first time, they crossed to Jamuna. And when Gaur Hari, he saw the blackish, glistening color and waters of the Jamuna, he became overwhelmed with feelings of separation from Nandadullah. He jumped into the water. And so they grabbed him, they're pulling him onto the boat, and then got him onto the boat. And then this is also in the Mahaprabhu is trying to contain his ecstasy because his Vallabhacharya is there. And he's trying to, but he can't. He jumped into the river, they dragged him onto the boat, and then on the boat, Mahaprabhu starts dancing. You imagine, small boat, not a very big boat. A few people, already the boatman and three other, then Gaur Hari, he's 7 foot tall, and he's dancing, and the Chansasta, and he's like, he's in ecstasy, and the boat's beginning, rocking, filling with water, beginning to sink. Somehow they got to the other side. And then Vallabhacharya, he hosted Gaur Hari. He bathed his feet, sprinkled that charanamrit over the heads, and fed Rupa and Anupam the remnants of Gaur Hari's prasad. And then they returned, and then decided that we'll go back via Ganga, not Jamuna, so that maybe we can cross without complete madness overtaking the whole. And then in Prayagraj, Gaur Hari, he instructed Rupa Goswami for 10 days in the Rasha Tattva, the science. Rasha Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Krishna Tattva. And you can read the teachings to Lord Chaitanya, teachings to Rupa Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which was the basis of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Any question? Yes.
What happened to Anupam?
Subsequently, he passed away. How long that was, I'm not exactly sure, but later, having gone to Vrindavan and being resident there, and then Mahaprabhu coming back to Jagannath Puri, Sanatana Goswami visited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Antalila chapter 4, Chaitanya Charitamrita. So sometime later. So at that time, Mahaprabhu mentions that Anupan left the world. Mahaprabhu mentions. And then another interesting thing, seeing that you brought it up, but regarding the humility of Sanatana Goswami. When Mahaprabhu said, Anupam has left the world, he was a great devotee. As his brother. Mahaprabhu said to Sanatana Goswami, can you imagine? Someone said, your brother leaves the world, he's great, and he says he was a great devotee. What will we say? We say, yeah, it's all your mercy, yeah, and, thank you. And Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu says, your brother was a great devotee, he's left. And Sanatana Goswami says, our family is most sinful and most degraded. Most degraded, he's thinking that. Other questions? A few minutes, Harinam Sankirtan.
Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Shavaya Namaha, Gopal Govindaram Shimar Siddhan, Hare Hari Govinda, Sri Chaitanya Nityananda, Sri Advaita Siddha, Goshai Goshai Kori Choran Abandan Jahoite Bhimnash Vishnapura Goshai Goshai Jar Mori Dardas Dasha Boda Boda Renu Bhara Vanshadash Kadara Charana Shri Bhakti Shane Vas Jami Jami Hoy Evalash Jana Me Jani Me Hoy Nirabina Echai Koshai Jami Braja Koyavas Radha Krishna Nikolila Rela Prabhas Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Singh Vaishnava Jayama Singh Vaishnava Padma Kori Asa Ram Sankirtan Kohe Naram Das Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Jai Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hare Jai Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hare Jai Sachinandan Jai Sachinandan Jai Sachinandan Gaura Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Go Nityanande, Hori Hori.
Please accept some Mahaprasadam from Prabhupada's installed Jagannath, Baladev Subhadra deities in Kolkata, Rath Yatra, Mahamohotshav, Mahaprasad. Actually, some Mahaprasad from Radha Rash Bihari also. So, if you honor my request and kindly accept prasad, this is how Vaishnavas share affection. Please come and take prasad.
Let's show our gratitude to Atul Krishna Prabhu for giving us his time by once very loudly
Hari Hari.
chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for him.
So many eager devotees. Krishna.